I am a publisher, writer, editor, daughter, sister, auntie, dog mom, and many other things, including currently a cancer patient. But I am not a doctor or medical professional of any sort. What you are about to watch is an episode of my journey through cancer. I'm sharing my adventure with you in hopes that you'll find something here that's comforting and maybe even inspiring. This video is not intended to provide any sort of diagnosis or treatment plan. Please go talk with your doctor for professional medical advice.
Good morning. It's first thing in the morning. First cup of coffee. My Michelle Obama mug for inspiration today. I am getting ready to go work out. My second day of post-cancer treatment workouts. I started yesterday with my trainer, and he's wonderful. I was able to do maybe 20 to 25 reps on select machines and walk a little bit on the treadmill, a slow pace, but a good incline. So I'm ready to go do it again because I felt great after I worked out, and I don't know what that was all about. I think probably a combination of actually physically working out and moving again in that sort of directed way, or just psychologically that I was getting out and getting back to sort of a more normal life. So I'm taking it slowly. I want to do it without injuring myself again. So I'm taking my trainer's advice and I'm taking it slowly. But it's a wonderful feeling, and I just can't wait to get down to the gym again this morning. But first, it is also the middle of the winter holiday season, and I had intended to come to you this morning with some sort of decoration around me, Christmas trees, because in this house we celebrate Christmas, and so I was hoping for a little tinsel. But several weeks ago, the garbage truck, when it was coming up our driveway, missed the driveway and took off a good chunk of a corner of the house. And while the exterior of the house is still sort of swathed in tarps, waiting for bricks to be installed, the interior is done. It's patched and spackled, and we're waiting for paint. And that hasn't started yet, so I can't put up Christmas decorations. So I have snowflakes on my jammy top. Merry Christmas. There isn't ever a good time to be going through cancer, of course. This summer, I was smack in the middle of treatment during my birthday, and I couldn't get out of bed, let alone get out and celebrate. So I have promised myself this coming year I am going to celebrate at least twice, and I will do that. But for now, we're in the middle of a winter holiday, and I am going to have the most normal winter holiday that it is possible to have. I'm very much looking forward to all of that. And that said, I am only one among 1.9 million people who were diagnosed with cancer in the United States last year. And, that many people are going to be diagnosed with cancer in 2023. And they are all going to have birthdays and Thanksgivings and 4th of Julys and Christmases, and all those special days will more or less suck because they won't be able to celebrate in the ways that they want to or are used to. Presents aren't going to cure the problem, but they do lighten it. And I thought I would make a list of what I have found are the best presents to gift a cancer patient, whether that patient is a friend, a family member, or even yourself. Now, I have all these things that I'm going to list. I'm through treatment. So this list is specifically for those of you who are wondering what to get that person on your list who is currently going through cancer treatment or has recently been diagnosed. And where it's practical or appropriate, I've put the links to some of the products I used below. Okay, so let's get started. At the very top of my list is Sue's Salves Calendula cream. This cream was a gift from the goddess during my treatment cycle. And it is for anyone who is going through radiation treatment as part of their cancer treatment program. Radiation burns your skin, and the lotions and ointments that your smart and well-meaning and compassionate doctors and nurses are going to likely recommend to you to soothe those burns will very possibly make the burns worse. I'm speaking of the evil lidocaine. They will make the burns worse, or they will offer only a small measure of comfort. But this cream, this calendula cream, it's made with organically grown calendula flowers, and those flowers have been used for millennia to relieve skin irritations. And the calendula not only relieves the pain of the burns, but it actually helps to heal them. So that anybody that's going through radiation, that's at the top of my list, because it was truly a salvation while I was in the midst of radiation treatment. The second thing is blankets. You're cold during treatment. I found that except for the period where I couldn't have any weight on top of me because I had radiation-related colitis and blankets were too heavy, I needed as many blankets on me as I could get. I got very cold, and so they're practical, but they are also so comforting. They're like getting warm hugs from your friends. You get an Amazon package in the mail, and it's a toasty, cozy blanket, and you just feel wrapped in love. And so blankets are high on my list of presents that I really enjoyed receiving. Next on my list is nightgowns, or for men, nightshirts. And this is high on my list because I had pelvic radiation, and when you have pelvic radiation, you're not going to be able to wear pants. And having nightshirts and nightgowns to rotate through is helpful because they're comfortable, and having a lot of them is good because, the laundry piles up when you have cancer. So any loose-fitting nightgowns or nightshirts are especially appropriate for people who are having pelvic radiation. Okay, 4, head wraps and hats. I didn't lose my hair. I was very lucky. But I also didn't wash it or cut it or have it colored or do anything to my head for the duration of the cancer treatments, the 6 weeks. And that's because by not touching it and not doing anything to it, I stood a better chance of actually keeping my hair. So I really appreciated having headscarves and head wraps and baseball caps to stick on my head so that my hair, which was totally overgrown, but also really unkempt during cancer treatment, to hide the worst of the sins. Next on the list is food and drink. When you have cancer, you are not going to be able to cook for yourself or your family. So having food delivered to me was important. I used a keto food delivery service, Factor, and I drank a lot of protein drinks because cancer patients are told to, really lay in the protein because your body needs it to rebuild the cells that the radiation and the chemo are destroying, the healthy cells. And teas, especially ginger tea and chamomile. I drank a lot of those, the ginger particularly because it helps with being nauseous. So any sort of food or drink is welcome, particularly food and drink that you make yourself. I loved the deliveries that I would get of, chicken soup. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche because chicken soup really does heal. So take your cancer patient dinner, or take their family dinner if they've got a family that they need to look after, because that is really welcome and that really helps. The next thing is water bottles. I have 3 of this size water bottle, and I made this because I wanted to keep reminding myself that I was going to be a cancer survivor. Water bottles are necessary because you are going to be traveling every day to get your treatments, and you are going to want to have water bottles to tote with you, and you're supposed to stay hydrated. So I would fill 3 of the bottles every morning and try to get through all 3 bottles by the end of the day. Again, if you've watched my other videos, you will know that there was a period where I really dehydrated myself on purpose, unconsciously on purpose, because it hurt to pee. So other than those times during that period, I really did try to finish 3 water bottles, 3 20-ounce water bottles every day, which you're supposed to do. So it's very convenient to just have 3 bottles lined up that you can fill in the morning and know you have to be done with those bottles by the end of the day to maintain proper hydration. So water bottles are good gifts. Next, and this is counterintuitive, possibly because I had my treatment, my heavy part of my treatment in the middle of the summer when the weather was warm, but mittens and woolly socks were a necessary part of my everyday. I would go and get radiation, and radiation rooms are necessarily cold because the rooms have to stay cold so that the machines can function. So having woolly socks and mittens to wear in the room while you're getting your treatment keeps you as warm as you can be while you are getting zapped. Next on the list is flowers. And, maybe you don't live near your cancer patient, or you are unable to cook their family a meal. Send flowers. They're so beautiful to have around. And again, it's just a way to make your cancer patient feel loved and cared for. And flowers. And finally, one of my favorite gifts always are books. And I found that during cancer treatment, especially during chemo or after chemo, around chemo is when I stopped being able to really follow a narrative, which was very frustrating to me. But one of my dear friends, the author Dennis Wilson, who is one of my authors, sent me Crazy Sexy Cancer Tips from Chris Carr. And I really appreciated it because it is, I don't know if you can see, it's short pieces that you can read and not have to follow a full narrative, not have to keep the threads of a plot straight in your head. And it's inspirational. So on top of being readable for a cancer patient, it's also really inspiring. So books of any sort, but particularly books that are more episodic and that have small chapters that are easily digestible in and of themselves without having to remember a plot. So those are my suggestions for really good gifts for your cancer patients. I also wanted to let you know that I am going to be taking a short break over this holiday season. It is mid-December now, and I will be back with you in mid-January, which January 12th to be specific, and that will be a few days after my next round of checkups and tests with my doctors. So I should have something substantial to report then. But in the meantime, I am going to take a month and celebrate the holidays, finally decorate the house. I hope the painting is finished maybe today, so I can decorate, spend some time with family and friends. And I hope you do the same and that your holidays are filled with joy. And that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the new year, and I am going to go work out. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Also, don't forget to call your senators and your congresspeople to demand universal health care, and most importantly, don't forget to vote.